Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Good afternoon. Today is still 12th of November and I'm still in Hall 5 at the NEC Classic Car Show sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. This is the fourth part of a slightly shambolic shuffle. The reason they're called slightly shambolic shuffles is because, well, they're not edited very well, they're all filmed on a phone, I get things wrong regularly, I get interrupted by announcements, and I might even fall over, so don't expect much, because that's just what happens on this channel. I found a couple of rally golfs over here. They're sort of left-hand drive only things that have front end similar to a Jetta and flared arches and things like that. Particular interest someone like Mr. Quirk from the Planet Auto channel. Just take a look at the back end of one of these and see if it's particularly different from the standard one. It is a bit different. The bumper looks very different actually. Let's have a look at some Voxel Chevettes, shall we, and maybe some Cadets. Chevettes and Cadets must be in the right place for. So facelifted Chevette here. All Chevettes apart from things like the HS and HSR used a 1256cc engine but have been originally developed for the Voxel Viva HA in 1963. This car has the flush headlamps, so it's from the sort of facelift year. Yeah, Chevette L on an X, so 8081. I remember that steering wheel because I used to sometimes get lifts in an X registration Chevette. It was a hatchback though. This one looks a bit sporty. That's not a 1256cc engine in there. Going to facelift one. W plate 8081. This one's on an S. This is an HSR viewers. 2.3 engine in these. It's very sporty but still with a practical hatchback. 77, 78 plate that would be. Oh, now we're into the Vivas. Viva HC. 2-door. L, so 72, 73 plate. VHC seems to be the most common type these days. I mean, it was made for much longer than everything else, so that probably explains why. Bedford HA van here. It's marketed there as the 6800 weight. 67, 68 plate. I've got to be careful because this shape of car had several names. This is a Forenza. This is an SL. And yeah, this is a 71. Voxel Forenza. Nice front end, 1.3 engine, so same as in the standard Chevettes. This is an HB Viva state, personal plate on it, HB Deluxe. I like the shape of these. The shape of these is really nice. That is, it's very attractive actually. Go and look at some more Vivas from the Viva Drivers Club over here. Viva la Viva. It's an end plate, so another HC. '74, '75 plate. Viva SL. Viva GT. Get an HB. Nice and fast. Another HCV, but they are the most common type, as I said. M plate, so 73, 74. Another very shiny Viva GT on an H, so very late one. 6970. Quite an extensive restoration. It's pretty extraordinary. Extraordinary colour as well. Wow, here's a real rarity. An original Voxel Cresta. Ford PA Cresta. It's the E-Type. Don't know what year this is, I'm afraid. Look at this sort of crazy 50 styling when Voxel were trying to be as American looking as possible, culminating of course in this PA Cresta. Look at that, just extraordinary. I seem to believe the Queen had one of these and it was in the States, although I could be wrong. As Mr. Bill says on the Wells Wheels channel, since this car's for sale, this could be yours. Wonderful. Oh viewers, we found a Voxel sports hatch. I absolutely love these. It's the rear bodywork of I think it's called the Viva Estate, with the front end of a droop snoot Forenza Coupe. Extraordinary, and this colour as well. It's deep, rich purple with these crazy side stripes of red. That is one crazy rare car. Wow, viewers, we found it. 1981 Voxel Chevette HSR. Let's say 2.6 on there. Wow. Look at that interior. A bit more sporty than the standard Chevette interior. If I said Viva just now, viewers, I do apologise. This is a Chevette, not a Viva. There we go. The DSG stands for Droop Snoot Group. Sorry for the vibration there. That's pretty good. And speaking of droop snoots, another droop snoot. This time a droop snoot Forenza. Yes. This looks like a and registration, so 74, 75, 5-speed gearbox, dogleg gearbox on this one. It's one of the sort of crazy things that Voxel used to build back in the day. Wonderful. Oh, viewers. 1968 Voxel Fd Victor. Wow. Randall and Hopkirk style car. It's even got the red interior too. Obviously the Randall and Hopkirk car was white, this is grey. And it is a 2000, just like the one in Randall Hopkirk would have been. Apparently the 4-speed transmission in this was an option. Does that mean that these came originally with a 3-speed gearbox? If so, that's pretty crazy. Oh, now this is very special as well. This is a Voxel Ventura, it's a very late one. It's the FE type. Very, very nice. Very nice. Alloy wheels. A bit faster than the the old transcontinental Victor that Ian Seabrook would have driven a few years ago on his channel. 3.3 litre. That is really rather nice. Same door handles and floor pan as the contemporary Opel record. Very lovely indeed. Okay viewers, so I've put this on an aircraft mode. I should have done that earlier, but never mind. I've turned up at the Cavalier and Chevettes Club stand, and this is a 1988 Voxel Cavalier Mark II 1.8 CD. It's not the one that Ian Seabrook drove a few years ago. That was from the Voxel Heritage Collection. That is absolutely lovely. I think originally this car would have had clear indicator lenses on the front. Obviously we've got headlight and wiper action going on. Oh, and we've got a Cavalier Commander. So you know viewers, I have not seen a Cavalier Commander in years. I remember when these were new. I mean, I would have been very young, sort of 3 or 4 at the time, but you know, I was getting into cars myself and I would have known this, but this, wow. So, first facelift on Mark II Cavalier, there's the second facelift. I wonder what engine was it was in these. Maybe it will say on the back. That's in that. Amazing. 40th birthday of the Mark II Cavalier. What a way to celebrate it. What does it say? Ooh, and we've got a Mark II Cavalier Commander. These are really rare. I think they made these 86, 87 only. This one's an automatic. Good view of the Mark II Cavalier dashboard as well. Very much sort of, I don't know why, I always remember that the sort of name Craggy. I think of the fascia. It's like a lot of Voxels and Opals at the time. Ooh. Pre-facelift Mark II Cavalier SRI. That's a very late Opel Manta. A very late one, an E, so 87, 88. I think they finished production 88 to make way for the Calibra. So, yeah, so we go. I do apologise for Mike Brewer in the background. There's not an awful lot I can do about that. Mark III Cavalier Toledo GSI personal plate. See if his information sheet says anything about it. 97. That's interesting. Right-hand drive though, so yes, owned by the Armed Forces. Very late Voxel Nova here. I wonder if those white wheels would have been original. So J, so 91, 92. Ooh, more tasty Opel Voxels from 1970s and 80s, although this one certainly is an Opel Manta, very late one on an F though, so it'll be 88 only, Manta GTE. Oh, sorry about the weird camera angle there. My hand's getting a bit stiff. I've filmed 4 videos today, so I'm getting a little bit stiff on the old hand. 1972 Opel Manta Rally. Wow. See if I can. Oh, it's a right-hand drive one as well. This is a Manta A. There's a very similar car to this used in a chase sequence in an old TV series called The Adventurer, which most of you have probably never heard of. I don't recommend watching it though, because it's not great. What about Manta's an exclusive? Separate fog lamp. What this is? It's an Opel Ascona or something. Now that interior has been tastefully upgraded. Green leather, that's very nice. I think this is the Ascona estate, so on an M, so 374. At this time there was no Voxel sort of equivalent really of this. I suppose the nearest thing would be Viva, this is before the Cavalier existed. Autobahn Stormers Car Club. Ooh, I think we're going to find some tasty things in here. Oh viewers, we have an Opel Monza GSE from 1985. Very helpfully this is the Republic of Ireland plate, so there we go. Headlamp wiper action, of course. Cam in head, engine. Oh, it's an 84. It's got an 85 pedal. It's really the GSC, so it's got a Digidash in it. Oh, viewers, it has. Yes, please. That's an auto. Oh. I think I know somebody who very, very much like this. Would be Mr. Coleman, the rubbish mechanic, who's here with his Alpha that we filmed in part 1. A 1984 Voxel Senator 3-litre CD. Again, cam in head engine, same as that Monza GSE over there. This is a lovely car. Look at that green velour interior. There's a Digidash in it as well. You know, I really like this view. You've even got a subtle strip of wood on the door. Very, very nice views. I do like this very much. BM, so possibly owned by Voxel Opel themselves. Now this. Opel Commodore B GSE from 1975. I've heard of this car before, this particular car. Never seen it in real life though. This is amazing. These sort of brick red seats actually show a lot brighter on camera than they are in real life. Beautiful car, same family from when it was bought as an ex-demo. I think that's the cam in head engine as well. Look at those lamps on there. GSE, chin spoiler. That's a beautiful, beautiful car. Some of you though will prefer this. It's 1991 Lotus Carlton. And no, it's not the one that everybody talks about. That's it's kind of disappeared off the grid some time ago. That is beautiful colour. It looks black on video, but it is actually dark green. 6-speed gearbox, I think the same one they used in the Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 at the time. Getrag. There we go. Yes. One of the craziest cars, I think, in my opinion, ever made, really. Mike Brewer still going on the Discovery live stage, but we'll have a look at some taxis. 1995 LTI. Although it says Austin on front, it's not. It would be an LTI by this stage. Fairway driver, 2.7 Nissan Forbidden Fuel engine. It's actually a manual, this one. It's crazy. Why would you want a manual driving a in London taxi? But no, never mind. I wonder why that one's gone in the other way. 1933 Austin 12.4 low loader Landaulet. 1934 Austin low loader. You've got to make sure you've strapped your luggage in there, otherwise it might fall out. I suppose if it rained, it just got a bit wet, and if it was cold, it was cold. It's too bad. It's Beardmore Paramount. Yes, I remember these. It's not an Oscitor. This one's a bit better because the driver's actually got an enclosed bit, but still be a bit cold because that doesn't actually meet there, so you'd still get a bit cold. In the summer you'd get rid of all that though. Very nice. You can also have a look at some Cadillacs. 1981 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham. Look at the size of this. That is absolutely crazy. 1949 Cadillac Coupe de Ville Series 62X. Again, you know, quite big. Big bench seat. And side of some ridiculous tail fins. (1968) Cadillac DeVille two-door coupe. Got a little light show going on there. It's nice. Just look at the size of this car in comparison with the actual seating capacity. I mean, it's not cramped or anything. It's just absolutely vast. Wow. Is this another Cadillac? Oh yeah, it is. 1958 Cadillac's Sedan DeVille. This was the year before the tail fins got enormous. I mean, they're enormous on this, but they got even bigger on 1959 Cadillac. Madness. Another American car, but much smaller one. 1964 Ford. I thought it was a Falcon. Yeah, it is a Falcon. Falcon Futura. 1971 Dodge Explorer camper van. Similar to the was it Dodge Sportsman, Tradesman? Are they all kind of the same? I'm terrible at American car viewers. I do apologise in advance for getting all this sort of stuff wrong. Ooh. Oh wow, now this is good. A more familiar subject for me. (1973) Triumph 2.5 PI pre-facelift. Classic wheels that these used to come with. There's the engine, and somewhere on there's the fuel injection system. The old Lucas mechanical fuel injection system. Go the rear end, the Innsbruck facelift. This one's a pre-facelift Triumph 2.5 PI. That is a 69 only because the facelift, the Innsbruck facelift, because apparently there are two facelifts according to that information thing over there. That came in 69, so this would be a 69 only. So much plainer rear end on one of these, and overdrive as well. Again, we've got some more Triumphs. Only two Stags on this stand, but oh, that one's nice. Look at the colour of that. Absolutely amazing. 1971 Mark I Stag, Royal Blue. Let's have a look at this old English white one as well. Oh, we've more Triumphs here too. Fantastic. (1973) Mark II. I think this is on the original Triumph V8, this one. Interesting. So we can have a look at the interior of this one, because someone's left the roof open. There we go. Similar dashboard to something like a 2000 or the higher end Dolomites. Lovely wheels. That's a nice car. How about some TR7 and TR8s? This is a TR8. AC, so Coventry plate. Driven by Tony Pond. It's obviously attracting a bit of interest today. Oh, this one's been painted in the same colours as the red TR7 from New Avengers, although this looks like some kind of special edition. Here we go, 1978. Coca-Cola and Levi's jeans commissioned 3 TR7 with the Coca-Cola livery and denim interior to help promote their products and events throughout the UK. Oh wow, it does actually have some denim interior. Amazing. So it's a 78 on a T, so late 78, 77, 78, TR7 Sprint, so it's had a 16 valve engine in it, as opposed to a normal 8 valve engine that was in most of the TR7s. I can't remember how many Sprints they made, it wasn't that many. Most of them were the standard 8 valve engine. TR7 convertible. This is just the 4-cylinder one. Yes. So this is a 79. So why is it on an X then? Doesn't say. Oh well. 79 was the sort of first year for the open top TR7. Again, very, very kind of typical colour and sort of branding for the time. Ooh, wow. Found very rare Triumph, in fact 2 very rare Triumphs. The Triumph Fury prototype, which was kind of, I think, sort of predecessor to the TR6 and the Stag. Registration is later than the car actually was. I think it was completed in 1965. Same engine as a Triumph 2000. Back end looks a bit like a TR6. But those tail lights are off at 2000. Dove GTR 4A, modified. Ooh, this could be yours for sale. Modified TR 4A. I think this would be about 1964. I'd like to say. I mean, that's a personal plate on this car, but I'd like to say it's about 64. I quite like the look of that actually. Nice and practical with a hatchback. More Triumphs. 1965 Triumph Spitfire Mark II. Spitfires. Very simple dash in these, and you know, I think it's largely based on Herald underneath, and like that you can lift the whole front end off because it's got a completely separate chassis. Triumph GT6. Is there a plate on this somewhere? Oh, it's a G. It's a Mark II. I just thought the rear end of it is a bit fussy with all these lights. I don't know why they didn't sort of tidy that up. I think we did for the Mark III. 67, 68. They're a very striking colour. Also the 60s, I'd like to say. There we go. Lift the whole front end up like that. Unrivaled engine accents. 1971 Triumph Toledo. My parents also had one of these. They had a Triumph Toledo, which is basically a sort of stripped out Dolomite really, with steel wheels, and I think it's a 1.3 engine in these. It's 1296. They were made for export markets as a 4-door, but I think most of the ones in this country were 2-door like this one. from what I remember. Don't quote me on that. Extraordinary condition, absolutely, utterly lovely. I remember the engine, which is similar to the one for Ville, my 300SE that I used to have. I remember how the batteries held exactly, because it's actually really easy to get that out. So I had to, because my battery went completely flat. I had to buy a new one. Hurricane 6 PI by Vincent. What on earth is this? Never heard of one of these before. It's a glass fibre kit that looks a bit like a well, I don't know, Unipower or something. Interesting. Let's go and have a look at some more 60s and 70s Triumphs, and I think we found something rather nice for us. Oh, viewers. Do you know, when we were growing up, our next door neighbour had an Acclaim like this in this colour. It was an A registration. And it wasn't the fancy model like this, it was I think just an HL. But 1983 Triumph Acclaim CD Triomatic. Oh, viewers, I really want to drive an Acclaim on the channel. Really do. And this one would be, might be perfect, but you know, we'll have to see what happens. Wow, this is interesting. Triumph 1200, Triumph Toledo 1200 from 1961. I looked at the registration of this on the back and saw it was HP, so I thought it might be a press car, and it is. This is the press car used at the time that the Herald convertible was launched. Herald was donated to the Triumph 6 Sports Club fairly recently. It's very nice. It's very nice indeed. I love the colour of this. Yeah, and lift the bonnet up and unravel access. Left-hand drive, Herald. I think that means it's a. No, this is a Vitesse 600 Coupe. Oh my gosh, I've never seen one of these before. That's what a left-hand drive. It was ordered by Prince Poniatowski, care of Voiture Paris Monceau Paris. Wow. Discovered in France in 2020. Goodness me. That's crazy. So it's a front end of a Vitesse with the rear end of a Hook. So here's a Herald 1200 Coupe from 1962. Again, it's a VC, so commentary plate on this, and might actually be the original trash car owned by Triumph themselves. Fascinating. Yeah, rear end identical. I think we call this a Triumph Courier, or Herald van. I think it's called the Courier, from what I remember. So it was an earlier one, pre-suffix, so before about 1964. Wonderful. I thought this was something like a De Tomaso Pantera originally, but it's actually a Le Mans Turbo TR8. So it is actually a Triumph. Underneath there is a Triumph TR8. Wow, that's crazy. Ooh, very nice. That's a classic colour that these came in at the time. '61 Triumph TR4. It's beautiful. Works TR Rally Car VC, so yes, commentary plate. Hard top on this. Very nice sort of new seats been put in this as well. I suppose that's on there to stop people getting caught on it. HP, so probably another car that was owned by Triumph themselves originally. 1960 Triumph TRS. So it looks like a bit like a TR3, but it's not. How strange. Wow. It's a TR2 with a tiny grille. Yeah. Oh, TS2. First right-hand drive Triumph TR. From 1953. Well, we are being educated today, viewers. We keep getting things wrong, but that's just the way that it tends to go on this channel, unfortunately. The last car we're going to see is this lovely TR6. 1971. I think we'll stop there, viewers. Thank you ever so much indeed for watching this part 4 of a slightly shambolic shuffle around the NEC Classic Car Show. I will try in part 5 to actually finish Hall 5, ironically. I can't believe I've actually filmed well over 2 hours of footage just in one room. But there's so much to see here. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment below. And see you in the next part.